some reason my messages aren't working. Anyway, I didn't have access to Joe's channel thing, so I can't even get that. So, anyways, I wanted to show y'all my bandana, and I wanted to see my shirt. It says "Fuck me up, got pot." I've had it for a very long time. It's very old, and as you can tell, because it looks a little small on me, actually. Okay, I've got some. There's a lot of stuff that's happened though this week. Okay, the biggest news, I think, is Trump's latest fiasco at the Arlington Cemetery. So I'm going to say that. I'll say that for last. Hi, Colt. I'll say that for last. Okay, first let's go to, I'm going to show you J.D. Vance. J.D. went and spoke in front of the firefighters. Hey, Miss Ahmad, do you want to, he went and spoke in front of the firefighters. You want to come on, Miss Ahmad, and help me do the news? It's going to be mostly about Trump's betrayal of the veterans. So you're welcome to, because Joe was off tonight. I didn't find out till just a while ago. Anyway, let me know when I'll push. I'll link a thing. The firefighters in Minnesota have a union, and Governor Walz has went and talked to them. Well, come on in, and you can Trump bash with me. I've got some some things I was I'm gonna cover anyway. So anyway, this is J.D. Vance, and of course, they're not exactly the pro-worker party. The Republicans aren't. Oh, wait. Okay, I forgot what I was doing. And if you come in,
all over the world, stay here, and I'll make my.
I don't want to play that music. That'll probably get me a copyright strike.
Watching that. Well,
they're booing him. They are booing him.
Semper Fi, guys. We got some. Sounds like we got some fans and some haters. That's okay. Listen to what I have to say here, and I'll make my pitch. Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history, and I want to talk about why we're fighting for working people, why we're going to fight for unions and non-union alike.
I love it. He's getting booed. He's getting booed.
We're going to fight for you whether we get it or not. God bless you guys, and thank you.
I love it. I love it. He got booed. Nobody buys that shit. Nobody buys that. Boo, boo, boo. That's right. Boo. Okay. Voter registration. Okay. The voter registration is surging compared to the 2020 election, and the highest group is Black women. Is what I was taught. That's the last poll I heard. Oh, I forgot to do it again. I forgot to do it again. I cannot remember to do it. Share it. Ah. Okay.
More than 175%.
175%.
You heard that right. More than 175%
increase
in 13 states. That's
Black
compared
women
to the same time
voter
in
registration.
2020. This, according to the data firm
Who do you think they're voting
MarketSmart.
for?
Registration has also
Who do you think
increased
they're gonna
among
vote
young
for? They
Latinas
sure the
and
fuck
Black
ain't voting
Americans.
for
Tom
Trump.
Bonier joins us now. He's
Young
a senior advisor at
Latinos,
Target
they
Smart.
surely ain't voting for Trump.
Tom, it's
Young
great to
people
see
are
you.
not
Thanks for
voting
coming
Trump.
in. 175%, can that possibly be right? You must have triple checked this or many more times than that.
You're right to repeat the number because I've more than triple checked it. It's incredibly unusual to see changes in voter registration that are anywhere close to this. I mean, to remind people, 175% is almost tripling of registration rates among this specific group. You just
tell me young people don't hate that damn Trump guy. They hate him. I mean, my daughter has hated him far longer than I have. You know what I mean? It took me a while to get there. I'm there now. Definitely. I'm all the way there. But, you know, I was dumbass for a while. But yeah, they hate him. They despise him. He's everything. I mean, they're getting their democracy is going to be gone by the time they ever even get to be able to vote. They don't even get to pick what their world's going to look like. Climate change is going to be run. It's going to be too late to even do anything about it. And it's just ridiculous. And I don't blame them for being mad at us because we've done a poor job of handing over. We're handing over this huge debt to them that Trump added $8 trillion to our national debt in his term alone. And he wants to talk about the economy and inflation and stuff. No. You know what I mean? I mean, I hate to say this because a lot of my family votes for him. But I think that people who vote for him are so bad at understanding what's going on, and they're so bad at weighing facts, or they just don't care. It's just sad. It's really sad.
don't see that sort of thing happen in elections normally.
And what does that tell us, if anything, about either
young black
enthusiasm,
women,
attention, propensity to vote for these newly registered participants?
Tells us a lot. The reason that we look at this voter registration data is because the poll.
This is what I want to. I want him to get beat so bad that there's no way that he can say that the election was not fair. And there's no way that the Republican Party can look and say, we did not get our ass kicked because of Trump. Because that's what they need to know happened to them, is they have to know that that's what happened to them. They have to know that he's the one that killed them. Okay. Okay, let me see this here now. Okay. Now let's see what else I got here. That one's done. And that one's done. Just going to try to hurry through these for those other ones. Okay. Texas AG is pulling some stunt. They tried to impeach this dude last year, and they didn't get him impeached. And now he has been leading raids into people's homes and shit. It's just crazy what he's doing.
Gabriel Rosales, the Texas LULAC state director. There's just some wild stuff going on down in Texas here. Gabriel, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. First off, tell us about LULAC for people who are unfamiliar with your organization.
Yes, we're one of the largest and oldest civil rights organizations, Texas being our largest membership, but we have over a few 100,000 members across the country.
Great. And that's the League of United Latin American Citizens, right? That's what the acronym stands for? Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
So tell us what Ken Paxton is doing down there in Texas. What's happening?
Well, in 2022, Ken Paxton have been pushing that this voter fraud. As you know, the Republican Party continues to act as if there's been this massive voter fraud where they've never been able to prove. So he put together.
Yeah. So far, not one piece of evidence has been found to be credible in court. Of course, there were 61 cases that were filed during, or like, right after the election, challenging the election, which is his legal right to do. Every one of those he had the legal right to do, except for the fact that most of them were baseless. And so they ended up costing Giuliani and several other more lawyers their ability to practice law, because lawyers are not supposed to bring frivolous suits in front of judges. That's just an ethical thing right there, and that you can be disbarred for that, because that it's just so. Anyway, so they're trying to do some
this investigative team that goes into communities. They started to kind of under the radar. We just really didn't figure out what was going on in Tarrant County. Destroying people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
They lose their jobs, they lose their houses, and then we got the charges dropped. They then again came back in April of this year. Of this past year, I believe, or this year, and they raided in Pearsall, Texas. Again, it was under the radar. I really didn't, I was hearing rumors of these things, and whoever it was that got served, they weren't really communicating with us. It wasn't until
I don't know what this one. Anyway, they raided people's homes. They went in and raided people's homes over this election, this fake election fraud stuff. And these are American citizens. They're not illegal aliens or immigrants or nothing. Texas is full of Latino citizens. I mean, it was actually part of Mexico, remember? And so it's full of Latino citizens. And they've kicked 1 million voters off of the voting registrations down there in Texas. 1 million. Okay. Hey, Al, go eat supper. You go eat supper. Thank you for coming by. The court examiner. Miss Emma was here. I guess that's probably about what we got. Thank you, Al, for coming by. I appreciate it. Joe stood me up. Yeah. Lick and describe. Yes, lick and describe. Okay. All right. There's one more thing, and then I will go to Arlington. The election fraud. I read the election board in Georgia has changed a bunch of its rules and everything to where it can like delay certifying the election. Okay, which would cause us chaos because it has to be certified. The election has to be certified by January 6th. So that's the election that's when all the elector slates are opened. And of course, we know what all happened on January 6th last year. But so anyway, it has to be done by them. All the cases have to be done. That's why these things go through court pretty quick. And now they've changed the laws in Georgia so that they can delay certifying an election by doing all these different investigations. Okay, I don't care for them to investigate. I don't feel like that. I do not believe that the Democrats are cheating. I'm sorry, I don't. I believe that means people voted against Trump. I believe the cheaters are the GOP. They're not changing ballots, you know what I mean? But they are kicking people's ballots out. They're making it hard for people to vote, and they're doing crap like this right here. I did it again. cannot remember to.
Between Dr. Janice Johnston, who people might remember from the August 3rd Trump rally in Atlanta, who stood and waved to the crowd when Trump called out 3 members of the state election board. So the emails are between her and several county election.
See, Raffensperger in Georgia was the one that he called and said, I need 11,780 votes. And Raffensperger refused. We had a few people, few Republicans who held the guardrails, and they're gone. They're gone. They're not there anymore.
Officials throughout the state who are sort of pushing for these rules about more power to refuse to certify results. And we sort of knew this.
Georgia is going to be where the next Civil War starts, probably. Georgia, these people are going to they're going to pull this during the election, at the end of the election. They're going to. They went to all this trouble and blatantly set up all these new rules and stuff that allow them to not certify the election. And I don't know I don't know what we could do to make them, except for just maybe not. Just maybe kick Georgia's. I don't even know what they can do. It's going to be such a disaster. I know one thing, that it's not like Trump's going to be able to walk into the White House. Unless they've got some kind of personal army lined up to take over. Biden is in the White House, and until him and Kamala will be the president and vice president, until the duly elected president takes over. And I don't believe Trump's going to be the duly elected. If Trump wins, he will be president. Nobody's going to cheat to make him not be president. But they will cheat to make him president, and then say that the Democrats are cheating.
Was coming in a way, because we knew that, for instance, Julie Adams in Fulton County and her Republican in Fulton County, Michael Keegan, were behind these certification rules. I sort of suspected that this guy, David Hancock in Gwinnett County, was behind them. But really what it shows is just how sort of deep and widespread the coordination on all of this stuff goes, which is, really all to benefit Trump. These are all,
Yeah. Kemp is a Democrat, though. Their governor is a Democrat. And Kemp is kind of a sticky position because, he's considering, but taking them off of there is going to look good. They just don't care about our country. They don't care. They care about being in control, and that's it. They're so drunk on power, and they don't care if they got to cheat to get it. They got to cheat, lie to get it, what they got to do to get it. And it makes me sick. Okay. There's all that. That was brush through it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go over Trump. Okay. 13 American soldiers lost their lives when out in Afghanistan, when we were withdrawn from Afghanistan, when that bomb went off in the building. It killed 13 of our soldiers. It was a terrible day. Biden, it was probably the worst day. It was probably the only actual really, other than his debate, which I don't hold against him for that. But other than his debate, it was probably the only extremely bad day that he had. Like terrible. And it was terrible. And a lot of that was the situation that he inherited from Trump, that Trump had released 5,000 Taliban soldiers before that. So those 5,000 were part of the people that came over and were taken over as we were trying to pull out. Trump is the one that negotiated the release. Trump is the one that released the leader, the guy who is actually the president of the Taliban now in Afghanistan. Trump, we had him, and Trump released him. He even was going to bring those people to Martha's Vineyard. He was going to bring them to our, not Martha's Vineyard, but the place where they do the peace talks. I can't think about it now. But he was going to bring them there. He was going to bring them to the United States. The Taliban and the military, his generals found out and said, you cannot bring these people here. You cannot bring these terrorists on our soil. I mean, these are the people who funded 9/11. This was the people that were responsible for 9/11. The ones in Afghanistan that we went after. And this is where we killed Osama bin Laden. So, I mean, it was just like, what? You're going to bring them to the United States and take them to, just crazy. He's crazy. And so anyway, he goes, he decides that he never has done this either. Okay. He wasn't there last year or the year before that. He wasn't there, but because his campaign is failing, and he messed up and had the little thing where he said that the Presidential Medal of Freedom was just as good or better than the Congressional Medal of Honor that is given to soldiers. And because those soldiers were either riddled with bullets or dead. And the Congressional Medal of Freedom winner was a beautiful woman. These were his very words. So, okay, so he kind of got a lot of shit over that. So he comes out this week and he wants to he's going to fix his little PR problem. So he decides that he will go to Arlington Cemetery on the anniversary of the death of these soldiers and put wreaths on their graves. Okay, there is one section, all the time that's where the new soldiers are being interred. Right now, I think it's section 80, I think. Okay. Since that is a new area where newly soldiers have went and everything, and their families are probably there a lot and everything, and with them and stuff, that is an area that is blocked off from photography and filming unless it is a family member. Like you're allowed to, I'm allowed to take a picture of my mom standing at my dad's grave. You know what I mean? That's okay. But you have to get permission first. You're supposed to get permission before you do any cameras, any photography, or any filming. There are and it is a federal law that you cannot campaign at Arlington National Cemetery, at any national cemetery. There is no campaigning. You are not allowed to use dead soldiers to get you elected. Neither party, no candidate, nothing. This is a federal law. It's not, we didn't just pass it for Trump. It's been that way. So he goes to put this thing on there. First, they play taps. Okay, they play taps. And they tell everybody that during taps, they want you to stand with your hand over your heart and be quiet during the taps. Two of the people with Trump, one of them is filming the whole thing. And there's one guy who is actually on the phone while taps is being played. None of them have their hands over their hearts. Then Trump goes and puts the wreaths on the thing, and they start to film it, and the cemetery official runs over there to try to stop them from filming because they have already been told they're not allowed to film there. They push the cemetery official, and they, I reckon, verbally abused them too. I mean, physically assaulted. And then Trump goes on to, lie social and says that the worker was mentally ill, that they were attacked by a mentally ill person. I mean, it's like unbelievable amount of no shame that these people have. None whatsoever. So the United States Army has actually came out, and they didn't name the Trump campaign by name, but they spoke of the people involved in this altercation. And it's just terrible. It's just so terrible. He just continues to disrespect our soldiers, alive and dead.
Reported the Army says an Arlington National Cemetery official was, quote, abruptly pushed aside during a dispute with the Trump campaign over political activity there Monday. The employee has decided not to press charges.
There are nearly, I think it's like 3,000 public ceremonies that are conducted at Arlington National Cemetery every single year without incident. The rules and regulations are very, very clear. What happened earlier this week is very unfortunate.
Let's go to the Pentagon. Ellie Watson joins us there now. Ellie, this is quite something that the U.S. Army has issued a statement about all this, a public statement. We know the Trump campaign has denied there was a physical altercation. What else is the Army saying about what happened here?
Hi, Scott. Yeah, the Army has now directly contradicted what the Trump campaign's account of what happened on Monday was. According to the Army statement released today, a female staffer.
Trump lied, and it was a woman. Oh my God, it was a woman. Who would have ever thought it was a woman? Huh.
Was, quote, abruptly pushed aside, as you said, by members of the Trump campaign staff. That directly contradicts the Trump campaign's account that there was no physical altercation. According to the Army, this staffer has been unfairly attacked for trying to enforce the rules she laid out to the Trump campaign ahead of time. Some of those attacks have come not only from Trump supporters, but also from the Trump campaign itself, whose chief communications director claimed that the staffer was, quote, clearly suffering from a mental health episode. The Trump campaign has said that they have video to back up their account, but so far has not released it.
Yes. They said, we'll release this video if you keep on telling these stories about us. Well, they've been keeping on with the accusations, and I mean, I believe them. The United States Army doesn't come out. I guarantee the United States Army has investigated this very thoroughly before they made a statement about a political campaign. So Trump, I mean, he just continues to lie and gaslight and just,
The Army, which has issued this statement, rare statement, wading into political controversy, is now defending that cemetery official.
Walk us through the rules around this Section 60 part of Arlington National Cemetery.
Well, photography at Arlington Cemetery as a whole is allowed with permission, but federal law prohibits any filming or photography related to campaigning or partisan activity. And officials are pretty strict about enforcing that, especially at Section 60, and that's for good reason. Section 60, where this altercation allegedly occurred, is considered and feels like sacred ground. It is where veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan are buried and are still visited by their parents, their brothers, their sisters, their spouses and kids. It's a place where those families can go to be with their loved ones and where the rest of us can go and honor the sacrifices they made. Some families of victims who were killed in the Abbey Gate bombing that killed 13 U.S. service members during the withdrawal from Afghanistan did invite former President Trump to visit. And for sure, it could be an honor to have a former president visit. But the issue is that there are other families whose loved ones are buried there who may grieve differently. And that's why the cemetery has such strict rules in place about filming.
We know the incident was reported in some way to the military police there. Could there be any consequences for the Trump campaign officials?
No.
Yeah, the Army statement said that the staffer did file a report with military police, but has decided not to press charges. The Army considers the matter closed, so that leaves it up to the Court of Public Opinion to decide the consequences for this incident, alleged incident. And as we know, these days, the Court of Public Opinion rarely agrees on anything.
I mean, I don't think she's hurt. You know, they just kind of pushed her aside. They should have never put their hands on her. But I think she's probably doing the right thing by not pressing charges. Hold on, I've got another one I want to watch because this one's and the worst thing about this was he got his picture made with these people. Hello, Barnaby. Yes, and at the convention, I'm going to stream Barnaby at the convention. That's Saturday night. So and hello, PC. So I would love if you will be around to where you can maybe stream if you want to, or come on, or say hi, or something like that. That'd be great. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I'm hoping Joe's going to be there. I don't know if he is or not. He snuck out on me tonight. So anyway. 30,573 false or misleading claims, PC, over 4 years. Well, what about 8 years? We've had to put up with him for 8 years. So you maybe need to go back, and Joe had to cancel tonight, and so I had already had figured out what I wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to have to try to make this wait till next week. So I'm just trying to hurry it up and do it. So because I know that Transpositions is coming on, and Margarita will be on at 8. So and Transpositions I think comes on in like 15 minutes. So I was trying to hurry up and just get through my list of what I had here to talk about. And this was the main thing, was this Arlington deal. I'm just so upset over this. I mean, he just continues. I've been mad since Trump insulted John McCain. I have been. I was kind of about POWs hold a special place in my heart, especially for Vietnam, because I have 2 uncles that served in Vietnam. One of them, he was a Green Beret, and he did not come back in very good shape. And there was a lot of issues after he came back. And McCain was held captive for 5 years. He could have left sometime during the first year after the North Vietnamese found out who he was. They found out that his grandpa was an admiral in the United States Navy, and his father was an admiral, I think, too, or some kind. His father was. They were all 3 in the Navy, and they would have turned him loose. And they told him, they said they would, and he refused to go out of order. He refused to leave and ahead of soldiers who had been there before him. So he stayed 4 extra years because of that. And he was beating a lot when he was beating, and he wrecked his plane when he crashed anyway. That's how he got, taken by prisoner of war. And so he got hurt when he crashed. He messed up his shoulder and stuff. Well, and he never got any kind of medical attention for it or nothing. So his shoulder, that's what started it. Plus, he got beat a lot, and he couldn't raise one of his shoulders. I can't remember if it was the right or left. But he could not raise one of the shoulders up over his head. This was as far as he could get it. Okay. And Trump mocked him after he died, you know, just like last year, year before last. Trump mocked him for not being able to raise his arm up that high. Trump said that he wasn't a war hero because he was captured. Trump said that our soldiers were suckers and losers. He refused to attend the cemeteries to see the soldiers that are buried over there in France that were out of World War II. He refused to allow disabled veterans to be in his parades. And if you noticed on that video a while ago, there was a woman in a wheelchair. I guarantee his skin was crawling sitting close to that woman in that wheelchair because he despises people who are handicapped. He has a nephew, okay? He has a nephew that is a grown man who had a son who was born disabled. And his son, his nephew has came on and said, he said that his nephew should just let the boy die and move to Florida. That's what he told. That's what the nephew says that Trump told him. So, you know, yes, he was very hawkish. Yes, he was. Reed, he was. I used to be a little more hawkish myself. I will admit, probably most everybody else knows this. I am a convert. I voted for Trump in 2016. I have admitted that before, so it still hurts to say it. I cannot excuse it. I have no reason why. I spent a lot of time in the truck. I was not well informed. And I certainly was misinformed about Hillary. Yes, I was. I mean, I've watched Hillary. If you ever want to watch a good thing, watch Hillary. She was on Howard Stern. She did it's like a 5-part or 4-part interview. Yes, I did, Big Bad Mama. Yes, I've admitted that before. You ain't never heard that. Don't hold that against me, please. I was stupid. I was so stupid. But anyway, Hillary did a 5-part, 4-part interview with Howard Stern after the election. And if I had watched that interview with Howard Stern before the election, I would have voted for Hillary. And so many people, the whole comment section was full of people that said that because she was so personal and so likable in that interview that she never had been really. And I just the Clintons, you know, I grew up during I was an idiot. I was an idiot. That's all I can say. I have no excuse whatsoever, except that I did not ever vote for him again. And I have alienated every person I know in my county right now. Cousins. I've got cousins that have blocked me on Facebook. But I feel like that my country is more important to me than them. And they don't hear it, except for I tell them on there. I know you're not going to hear this on Fox News, so here it is. You know what I mean? You voted for you voted Barnaby. You voted for Trump too? Oh my gosh. I feel Barnaby. And when you know better, do better. That's right. Change your mind. You're right, Reed. I changed my mind. I did. I didn't vote for Trump in the 2020 election, but I was not a Trump hater. I really wasn't. I really didn't pay much attention to what he was doing until the pandemic came along. And I do know enough about immunizations and stuff like that and vaccines to know that he was failing miserably at that and that people were being really stupid. And all my people in town, you know what I mean? They were refusing to wear masks, and my daughter was in school and they were attacking our school board over it. I mean, one of the women who is like a major person in this county has worked for school board and stuff for years and is just respected by everybody in this whole community. Her and her husband both are Marines. They both are retired Marines. So these people are like, and he was our mayor for like 20 years, and she was on the school board and stuff. She's a wonderful woman, wonderful, very smart, very intelligent. They attacked her over wearing masks. They went up there and, oh my God, the school board thing was just, I mean, it was just like, watch. I was like, I cannot believe this is where I live. These idiots. I mean, because they came from like down there at that little bitty town that's down the road down here that's in our county that's like where all the Hicks live. And I know every one of them. And they come up there and they look like such morons, raising hell about wearing masks and shit. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. And I just lost my mind. And after watching all that, I got to where I just really, really hated the MAGA bad. Even the ones that I'm really good friends with, I couldn't stand it. And then when January 6th, hello, blessed be he, when January 6th happened, I decided that I had to watch the hearings and find out the truth. And I did. And I will never, ever get over that. I will never, ever forget January 6th happened. I will, if not one person had died, it would still been a disastrous day. But the fact that so many people died on that day or died later because of that day, he should be held accountable for that. He should be held accountable for the lie that he told these people, these citizens of this country. He should be the chaos that he caused. And I would love to see him held accountable for the people who died from COVID that he convinced to drink ivermectin and just fucking just idiot. I mean, just nobody should ever want that moron anywhere near the presidency again. I would not let him be dog catcher. I would not put him in charge of anything. And they want to make him president again. And so I wonder, how do you care about this country? How do you say you care about it? So, you know what I mean? And the thing about it is, do you have a rational argument? No, I don't need one, blessed be he. Guess what? January 6th committee made my argument for me. So you can go watch that, because that's the argument that the DA used to indict him for this stuff. So go watch that. There's my argument right there. I don't owe you an argument. High C science. Blessed be he. I'm not talking to you. I'm just going to ignore you. Okay? Because you're going to talk stupid shit. And I'm not arguing with you in this chat. Get out of your mind. Anyway. The one thing I always thought, though, I thought, no matter what, the conservatives will not allow our soldiers to be disrespected. You know what I mean? If nothing else, they've always been about the troops. That's gone too now. I mean, he can go and push around cemetery officials at Arlington Cemetery, and they defend him. He can say that John McCain wasn't a war hero, and they will defend him. He can call our dead soldiers suckers and losers, and they will defend him. He can do this right here. Look at this. He poses in this picture. He goes to Arlington and gets his picture made with one of the families of these soldiers that invited him. They did invite him. And he gets his picture made with his family. And he's fucking giving the thumbs up. I don't know where
Let's shift gears here. And we've been talking about the controversy surrounding Trump's visit to Arlington National Cemetery this week. It's become a real campaign flashpoint. And Charlie, you have a new piece for The Atlantic with the title, Trump Dishonors Fallen Soldiers Again. And in it, you write in part this. On Monday, Donald Trump visited the sacred ground of Arlington National Cemetery, where many of America's war dead are buried, and he posed for photos. In the strangest of these pictures, the former president is smiling and giving a thumbs up by the grave of a Marine. It's an image of a man who has no idea how to behave around fallen heroes. The event was supposed to be respectful and private. According to a press pool note, the families of the troops had asked that there be no media coverage in the area where the service members were buried, but Trump seemed to have other ideas. It's hard to see Trump's visit as anything but a campaign stop intended to court the military vote. By now, Trump's use of the military as a prop for his own ends should surprise no one. Despite his vigorous avoidance of military service, Trump has a long history of denigrating the service of others, even as he poses as a defender of the nation's military. Monday.
Okay. He got deferred from the Army 5 times during the Vietnam War over bone spurs. Five times. He went to see the doctor 5 times, 5 years. And the same doctor is the one that did it. And that doctor's family has actually come out and admitted that their father sold him this deferment papers. Of course, the man's dead now. So 3 generations of Trumps have lived in Fred and Fred's dad and Donald. And not one of any of their family has served in the military in 3 generations. Not one. With World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, let's see, was there any more that I'm missing right now? And then, of course, you've got, his kids. So that's really actually 4 generations that none of them have served not 1 minute in the military in his country. Out of all those men, all of them. And he is just this is what blows me away about the Republicans right here, is allowing this. This is where I thought that they would draw the line on letting our military be openly disrespected. I mean, I thought they were all about the veterans, even though they don't, even though they vote against the veterans, they always try to make it look like it was the Democrats' fault. They didn't want people to know. But, I go to the American Legion. I'm a member of the VFW. I've stayed up there. I go up there on Memorial Day. I attend the Memorial Day service. I attend the flag. They do a flag, just when you take your old flags up there and they destroy them and they bless them or whatever they do and everything. And and they show up at all of our like funerals where military people are, and they have to play the taps and they have all that. And every one of these people are people that I just dearly love. And it's becoming smaller and smaller group because they're dying off. Most of them are World War II and Korean and soldiers, and they're dying off. And so, but it's a long tradition with all that. And they're all Trump supporters, unfortunately. And they're still there. And all he does, man, it just blows my mind. It just absolutely blows my mind.
His wreath laying at Arlington was, in part, Trump's attempt to clean up the mess he has created and to establish some credibility as a champion of men and women at arms. But in the end, it merely served to remind Americans how little he understands about service, sacrifice, and heroism. And Charlie, let's get you to expand upon that. We were ticking through earlier in the show.
I mean, actually, we should have never known that Trump even attended this. Or he should have never told it. It should have came out from somebody else that he even attended this. You know what I mean? I couldn't find the article. I found an article once that told how many times, you know how like if a soldier dies over on foreign soil, they bring their body back on planes. And whenever that plane arrives in the middle of the night or whatever, they carry it off the plane and they take it. And it is customary when they can for a sitting president to be in attendance of that. They, you know, there's no big ceremony made or whatever, but for years, presidents have every chance they got been on the airport, on the grounds right there standing as the soldier's casket was carried off of the plane and loaded up to go, you know, for a funeral and everything. And that's just, you know, because he's the commander in chief. So, you know, he's that's his soldier. That's his, you know, under him. That's his soldier. And so, and they don't always make them, but most of the time, if you know they're out of town or something, but they try to. And sometimes it's in the middle of the night because they don't make a big public display out of this. This is something that is done sort of covertly, you know what I mean? Because they don't want a big, because the families of these people have not even seen their bodies yet. They have not had a chance to grieve, and they do not want to make a public spectacle out of it. So, but and Biden went to like 60 some or something like that of these things. How many ever? There's, you know, I mean, and it could be anything. They can die of malaria over, you know, somewhere, and they get brought home this way. Every time that just about every soldier that has came home like this, Biden has attended. In the middle of the night, he's gotten up and drove down it because I reckon, you know, it's not that far from where from D.C. Trump went to 4. In his whole term, his 4-year term, he attended 4 of these. And 68, I think it is, soldiers died in Afghanistan while Trump was president. And I don't know about any other place. You know, I mean, there's accidents happen. Like I said, they can die of malaria, they can die of COVID, they can die of, you know what I mean, they could die of anything. They could fall off of a scaffold and die. And so I don't know how many there are, but I know like he attended 4 of these the whole time he was president. And I know 68, I think, soldiers died in Afghanistan during his term. 13 died, yes, that day of the withdrawal under Biden. And Biden he knows. I mean, he you know, he knows that weighs on his heart. It weighs on him. That is probably his biggest failure as a president was that day and losing those 13 soldiers. And it bothers him. You think it bothers Trump? You think he feels 1 minute of remorse or sympathy or empathy or reverence or anything, any other kind of respectful emotion towards these soldiers? Think again if you think that. He doesn't.
The long list of times where Donald Trump has indeed denigrated the service of others, including those who have given their lives for the country. And as you see it, he did it again this week.
Well, this is the great paradox of Donald Trump. You know, his own record of non-service is of course well documented, but so is this long record of denigrating the service of others and his contempt, and yet he continues to wrap himself as the champion of the military, and many veterans seem to think that he is an ally of the military. But you walk.
PC, if Blessed be he is becoming distractive or saying things that she shouldn't say, just mute her or put timer out or whatever. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not paying any attention to the chat, so if she's getting on your nerves, you go ahead and just do whatever you want to do with her. So mean PC is now in charge of you. Blessed be he. So you better straighten it.
You look at this picture that you're showing right now. I mean, there's something deeply unnatural about this. Who posing with a thumbs up in front of the grave of a fallen soldier?
Let me see if I can blow this up. I have a picture of this. He is. Look at. She's giving the thumbs up. He's giving the thumbs up. He's giving the thumbs up. He's giving the thumbs up. A friend of mine told me that this was a white power sign. I don't know if that's true. If you know that that's true, she said that's why they were all doing that. But I don't know anything about that. But she was like, "Let me see that picture," and she blew it up, and she told me that yes, that's what it was.
Soldier. Who does that? Somebody who, frankly, just does not understand what the sacrifice means. And you go back through whether it's the attack on John McCain for being a POW, or his suggestion at one point that he did not want disabled veterans to be in an Independence Day military parade because it would make him look bad, or his comments to his former chief of staff, retired General John Kelly, when they went to Arlington in 2017, and they're standing next to John Kelly's son, Robert, who was a lieutenant who was killed in Afghanistan. And Donald Trump said to General Kelly, "I don't understand why they do this. What's in it for them?" Or when he refused to go to the military cemetery in France, calling them losers and suckers. And for people who've been around Donald Trump, this continues to be shocking that someone who is the commander in chief just does not seem, at some core of his being, does not seem to understand why people give their lives for their country. And again, you want to talk about cognitive dissonance. This is a man who, wants to be thought of as.
And well, see, I'm not shocked about him anymore. I got over being shocked at him with McCain, actually. I got over that because I don't care. There are many veterans that are Trump supporters that I disagree with. And I will thank them for their service. And I will probably, overlook their support of him before I will somebody else. I will say less to them. I was taught to respect a soldier like Mark Stoney, even. Mark Stoney there's a certain group of people who say some pretty bad things about him. He fought in Iraq. He came back with PTSD. And he deserves to be treated with respect that a veteran deserves. I hope we never have veterans again. I hope we just have people who serve in the military here for a job, and we never, ever, ever have to send them to die in another country. Because war is an example of our failure as a thinking animal. But that's probably not going to happen. And if we ever have to send any more over there, they are given the ultimate price, the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate, and they deserve to be respected for that. I didn't serve, and I've always kind of felt guilty about that. I have a niece who is in the National Guard, and she did a year deployment in Kuwait. And she's my hero. She's a mechanic on the Black Hawk helicopter and a nurse in her real life. And she's my hero. I mean, she's just badass. That's exactly what I think when I see her. She's a badass girl. She's beautiful. She's smart, and she went and she joined the military, and she served her country. And she's the only one of us that's done that. Out of me and my sister and her kids and my kids so far, she's the only one. And I'm proud of her. And I don't like the fact that he disrespects her. He disrespects every soldier that has ever fought for our country, whether they know it or not.
As America First, USA, the defender of American strength. And yet when it comes down to it, time and again, whether it's Gold Star families, whether it's Medal of Honor winners, there's something broken in Donald Trump that makes it impossible for him to understand that kind of sacrifice and heroism.
Yeah, certainly. Well said. And as the campaign so often does, they are indeed doubling down on what happened there, refusing to accept any responsibility.
J.D. Vance said that they were just, the press was just looking for attention to make something out. They were making something out of nothing. That's what J.D. Vance said. He is a Marine. And I guess it don't bother him. I mean, this is actually a Marine who questioned another soldier's service, in Walls, who served 24 years, which as far as I know, 20 years is retirement. So he did 4 years past retirement. And they said that he ran off on his group. After 4 years. I mean, he stayed 4 years past retirement. And he supposedly just left his group and walked off and left them, by not going to Iraq with them. Had been in was already past 4 years past retirement time. And they got deployed to Iraq, and he was supposed to have went with them and had already put in for his retirement before that. I mean, it's just ridiculous that the people they will attack, they have no honor, no ethics, no morals, no scruples, nothing. But this right here, I'm going to wear this out. I have wore it out all day. This is the one area where I feel totally comfortable ragging on my MAGA friends and everything else for this right here. I do. This is the one topic that they're not going to get by with just hand waving it off. You're not going to get by with it. They're going to explain to me why the hell they still support this man. Or they can just block me, whichever they want to do. But I'm gonna stay on this. I mean, I feel like this is the one thing. I'm gonna shame the hell out of them, if nothing else. Like I'm gonna shame them like I'm a Christian. Sorry if I have any Christians in there, but y'all are pretty good at shaming people, or trying to. I remember Kane defending Obama. Yes. She said that he was a Muslim, like he was a terrorist or something. And McCain said, no, ma'am. He's not a Muslim. He is not a Muslim. He is not a terrorist. He is an American, and we disagree on politics, but I still respect this man. I've served in the Senate with him. You are very correct. Instead of making up lies about Obama, McCain was defending him. We don't have that kind of, we don't have those kind of ethics in the GOP for sure now. I mean, we might like Adam Kinzinger. And Adam, he still calls himself a Republican, though. I mean, even like Romney put up with it. You know, Romney, it took him a while, but he finally, but I've read Romney's book. And I will say that Romney, you know, in his book, he explains that, you know, that when he was running that time, he went and kind of kissed up to Donald to try to get the campaign support. And Romney felt dirty before he went, and he still feels dirty over doing that. He didn't like it. He didn't like himself about it. He still doesn't like himself about it. And he's wrestled with it all the time since then. And so yeah, I mean, I read those. I've read like 3 Romney books actually. I never thought that I would ever really find much in common with a Mormon Republican. And I have a lot of respect for Romney, but it still took him a lot longer to get to where he got to than it should have. And you're not hearing nothing out of him now. He's not standing up and saying, do not vote this. You know, there's some of the Republicans that are saying, hey, we endorse Kamala. There's been a whole bunch of them come out that say that. Liz Cheney has not yet. Chris Christie has not yet. Of course, Adam Kinzinger actually spoke prime time, like 2 speeches before hers at the DNC. You know what I mean? So he carries a lot of weight. He had like prime speech spot. And there's a lot of them that need to. The Bushes, Mike Pence. I mean, Mike Pence has come out and said he will not vote for him, Trump, but blessed be he. PC puts America first. Putting America first doesn't have anything to do with talking about it and using buzzwords and electing Donald Trump or trying to shove Christianity down the throats of everybody in the country, or trying to overthrow the government, or lying about an election, or attacking trans people, or attacking gay marriage, or attacking women's rights, or and then Trump also this week wants to pass a law that says you get 1 year if you burn an American flag. Okay, I've never burnt an American flag and probably will never, ever burn an American flag unless I won't be the person, you know, that's like I said, they bless them and they do burn them at the Legion, but they're blessed and they're burnt by, you know, a whole ritual thing. And you know, I mean, I'm not ever going to be in charge of that because I'm not a soldier. So, but I'm never going to set fire to an American flag and burn it. I don't even like to watch it. But it's free speech. It's one of the most adjudicated free speech things that has ever been. It has been, burning the flag has been in front of the Supreme Court multiple times, and it has always been upheld as speech. Because the most important speech, beyond hate speech, like, you know, running around talking to people, you know, that's to me that's not what free speech is supposed to be about. Is your right to digress against the government, your right to say that my government is not doing what I want them to do, and I'm going to protest against it. And there's no such thing as liberal dog whistles. No, it's not a liberal dog whistle. Putting America first does not mean you have to disparage. Well, they do it though. They disparage minorities. It's not a liberal dog whistle. It's a reality. It's a fact of reality. No, nobody's programmed my mind. Blessed be He. But be He. You have 6 kids, and you're a Christian, and you're saying my mind's been programmed. Okay. You don't even know how funny that is. How funny that is. And I said I wasn't going to let you just derail the stream. So, anyway, just be glad PC likes you enough so she hasn't stuck you out yet. I'm sorry. They disparage minorities all the time. I don't know if you have. I don't know if you do. I hope not. But, yeah, they do. And Trump definitely has. Trump, his family made millions of dollars with rental properties that they were supposed to have rented to black people and refused to rent to black people in New York. They've, yeah. There was 5 young men who were accused of murder, in Central Park. And they were convicted and sent to jail. And I know you can take care of your kids. And I don't mean nothing bad about your kids. I'm just saying, as a woman having all them kids, you know what I mean? That's kind of like that you've been told you have to have a lot of kids. But I know you love your kids, so I probably shouldn't have brought your kids into it. He bought out billboards in New York that wanted death penalty for these boys. Okay. They were exonerated. They're out. They got out. But they stayed in jail for a while, prison for a while. And he never apologized to them. He never said, I was wrong. I tried to get you executed and I was wrong. Nothing. Yeah. But that's that. Anyways, Trump gave in one of his speeches, he said that he would make it a minimum 1-year prison sentence for burning a flag. I don't like burning flags, American flags. I don't. I especially don't like non-Americans burning American flags. I didn't like the burning of the flag at the school protests, on the college protests. I didn't like it. I did not like it. But one thing about free speech is the right for other people to say stuff that I don't like, especially about our government, because that is what the First Amendment's for. It is our right to speak against our government. It is not a right for you to insult trans people. You know what I mean? That's not what the First Amendment was for. It wasn't drafted for a right for you to belittle a black person. That's not what it was for. It is to protect citizens from while they speak out against their government. And that's what it was meant for, and that's what it's for. But it does cover lots of speech. And one of the things it does cover and has always covered and consistently is burning of a flag. We don't have to like it, but we cannot stop them. Every soldier we have that fought for freedom, fought for the right for somebody else to burn a flag. That's part of it. And I think they all know that. They don't like it either, and I don't like it. But I wouldn't stop them. Okay, I'm going to address Blessed Be here again, and then probably going to cut this stream off because I'm already missing embers. Other countries will perceive America as weak under Kamala. It's all about the optics. Okay. I know that arguing with you is a waste of time and that you're never going to believe me. But I guarantee that everybody else in this chat, every other person in this chat, knows how ridiculous that statement is. I mean, Trump, other countries' dictators made fun of our president. Putin makes fun of of Trump. Guarantee, China's Xi made fun of Trump. I guarantee he did. I guarantee he did. Even North Korea's dear leader probably made fun of Trump because he is the dumbest. And all they had to do is flatter him, and they could get anything they wanted. They could get anything. Anything. I mean, Trump said he would just let them take Ukraine. Why? Because he owes Russian banks a lot of money, probably, maybe. I don't know. Because he wants to be a dictator like them. He wants to be like Orban and Putin and Xi and Young, and he wants to be them. He wants to be a dictator. And he's a weak little man. Nobody perceives as strong under Trump. He is a weak little man with little hands. And all I can say is that's not delusional. You are the delusional ones. I mean, you live in a little box of Fox News telling you that people respect Trump, and they don't. He's hated. And you're gonna find out how much he's hated when this election goes down. And he's going to get beat so bad that he's going to have to move to a foreign country before he goes to prison, probably. And he probably run. He's done said he would. I don't care. I don't care. I hope he does. I hope we don't have to try him. I hope he leaves and moves the fuck off, and we never have to look at him again. And that he's never allowed back in this country. That would be fine with me. That would be enough. I would be tickled to death to know that he had to leave and never come back. And take his fucking Don with him. Back. What's back mean, C-Signs? C-Signs, I know you're probably a Trump fan too, but yeah, I mean, you just need to hear this. Because, I mean, he is not respected over in foreign countries. I mean, people, we talk to people from other countries all the time, and they ask us, what the hell is wrong with your people? Why would they elect this idiot? I don't know. I mean, we had an excuse in 2016. We didn't know how big of an idiot he was. Thank you. I love my accent too. No, I sound like a bale of hay. But we didn't know how big of an idiot he was. I mean, we knew he was a scummy guy. But okay, that's okay, C-Signs. That's good. I just figured you might be, but that's fine. I'm glad you're here, and if you're anti-political, that's good. I'm not right now, but I will not try to take it out on you. We had an excuse in 2016 because we really did not know what he would do. We got 4 years of it, and that should have been way past enough. You know what I mean? Way past enough. And the fact that we've had to deal with him for 4 more years and then through this election and the possibility of 4 more or whatever, if he ever leaves again, is just disturbing. And he does gross stuff every day that just keeps on piling on top of the gross stuff he did last week and the week before and the week before. And it's disturbing. It's real disturbing. He would sell our country out for a cheeseburger. He really would. For a McDonald's cheeseburger. Yes. I said I've never gotten a picture made by a grave giving the thumbs up. But I just might if I live longer than he does. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true. Blessed be he. It's true. It's real true. It's like he's trying to lose. Well, yeah, I agree with you, C-Signs. He is not putting a good campaign forward. I will agree with that. I mean, here's what I say all the time. And blessed be, you can stick your fingers in your ears if you don't want to hear this. But I say this all the time. GOP and Trump and his, I don't think it's the supporters is bad. I think they're in like a cult. But his minions up there in Congress and everything, they're evil. They're evil. And I don't really believe in evil as an entity, like, devil stuff. I'm just talking about they're just evil, the shit they do. But they're stupid. Because if they were pure evil and smart, we would never, ever be able to even have a chance of defeating this craziness. But thank goodness they're evil and stupid. I mean, they got Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jim Jordan and Comer, and he's from Kentucky. He's such an embarrassment to my state. It's like, oh my God. The football coach from Tennessee down there, and the one from Georgia or Alabama, and just flop out of his mouth. That's right. He's got diarrhea at the mouth. That's what he does. And I mean, I'm thankful that he is so incompetent. Really, I think he's losing his mind. This is what I think. I think that he's a narcissist with sociopathic behaviors that he exhibits. And no, I'm going to watch. And no, it will not. Something's going to happen. Like what? Cheating. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to cheat. But, I just don't think America's going to. America, I've said all along that I can't believe that America was not going to rise up and defeat this. And I think they will. I'm sorry, there's a biggie, but we have to stomp it out. It's not democracy. And don't say we have a republic, because a republic is a form of democracy. So we have representative democracy, which is called a constitutional republic. The Constitution protects our rights, and republic it sets up our representative democratic processes. So we are a democracy. We are not a straight democracy, but we are a democracy. And because we directly, we elect as citizens, we elect either directly or indirectly, we elect our president, our leader. And that makes fear the unknown paralyzed. I'm not, what do you mean? Okay. I don't know why I'm arguing with her. But we don't hang people, see signs anymore. That's barbaric. Okay? Barbaric. What's the unknown? I mean, we know that's why we're afraid of Trump. We're not really afraid of Trump anyway. The reason why we don't want Trump is because we know what he is. He's not an unknown. We don't fear the unknown. We don't fear. We don't fear the unknown. We actually, okay. I'm not the one who continues to believe a story in the face of bad evidence. I'm not sure, no, but I'm going to say that, I'll tell you what, Mr. B. I know we probably don't have a lot of money to bet. Let's see. What can we gamble? I think I'm like 80% sure that Kamala will win. The only real reason that I had that other 20% that is not sure is because I'm not sure how good Trump has been at rigging the election boards in Georgia and stuff. And I don't know how it's going to work out if that goes down, and it probably will. If it's a fair election, they've kicked like 1 million voters out. Well, Trump's not going to solve my issues. I don't look for presidents to solve my issues. There is no one human being that is going to solve. I don't really have issues. Actually, I don't like the fact that I'm a woman who is a second class citizen. I mean, I'm not going to be getting no abortion because I'm way past breeding age, but I have 2 daughters that are at that age. And I don't like the fact of knowing that if either one of them was to get an ectopic pregnancy, that they might die because 7 Catholics or 6 Catholics on the Supreme Court decided that women are second-class citizens and sent it back to the states. I might as well just let them go ahead and decide slavery too while they're at it. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like that. You don't have to think she's going to win. We should fight for Kamala to win. Oh yeah, I think she is going to win, Reed. I do fight. I work on our campaign. Well, thank you, blessed be he. But if I don't have bodily autonomy and men do, then I'm a second-class citizen. If a fetus has more rights than a grown woman, she's a second-class citizen. You know, I understand the problem people have with abortion. I really do. And I can understand why somebody would not want to have an abortion. I can understand that. And I don't think we should ever make people have abortions. I don't think we should ever force people to do that. However, in Texas, women are laying on stretchers and stuff, just about to bleed out and die. They've lost organs. They've also lost the ability to have any more children because they had an ectopic pregnancy. What are you drinking? Wine? It's Barefoot Sangria. It's my favorite sangria. This is my one drinking night a week. I drink on political night. It's Barefoot. Pretty big bottle too. It's good. Sangria. I like sangria. I started to drink sangria and margaritas tonight, but I didn't think I'd ever do the tequila. So it's down mine. All right. I'm not going to argue with blessed be he, more blessed be he. I appreciate what you said. And I thank you for coming and being pretty well behaved. PC hasn't put you out, so you must have been not too bad. Serious question. I don't want to answer any more questions. Blessed be he, I totally disagree with everything you say about politics. Totally. We're not, atheists are no more scared of the unknown than anybody else. And maybe more because we face it. We face it front up. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. PC, I love you. You are awesome. You are just absolute best at everything you do. And you are Victoria. Thank you very much for coming. Blessed be he. Thank you, Sea Science. I'm so glad you came. Purified. Okay. I am purified. This is what wine does. This is like, all I need is a cracker. I'm good to go. Give me a cracker and I'll have Jesus all in me. Sea Science, thank you for coming. It was good to see you. Reed, thank you. I'm glad to see you here and appreciate your support, y'all. Be sure and try to get somebody to go vote. You know, get somebody to vote. My parents, they're Trump supporters, and I'm going to be sure and go over there and let the air out of their tires that morning before it's time to leave for the voting thing. My dad does not have an air compressor, and I'm not going to let him borrow my air compressor either. And so he will not be able to go vote. I'm just going to go stick some rocks in his valve stems. Okay. Barnaby, I will see you in a week. I will see you in a week. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Cannot wait. And let's see. I know I've seen some more people. Look at the trees was here. Thank you, trees. Big Bad Mama was here. I know Dave was here too. They probably got tired of listening to me complain. Captain Desk Dave was here. And I got a really cool T-shirt from Captain Dave's channel, the Graceman Chronicles channel. I won a T-shirt. It's really cool. I like it, and everybody should be jealous because I want it. But I think maybe that's all that was here. I don't remember anybody else, and I don't see anybody else. If I forgot you, I apologize. Oh, Al Trucker was here earlier. Al, he was going to eat. And Al is out of the hospital, back home and out of the hospital. And we're so glad that he is okay and back with us on the internet. Yes. So happy that he's back. And Missy Maud, an occult examiner. I'm so sorry. It's been so long. Occult examiner was actually first, and Miss Ma was here, and I don't think she cares about politics, and I don't blame her. And Watt is here, and I'm sorry, Watt. Watt has probably not. He probably didn't hang around to listen to my anti-Trump stuff. I'm sorry, Watt. You may not want to listen to my political shows. Oh, I didn't see Watt. Bye, y'all. I love y'all, and get out and vote, no matter who your candidate is. Make your vote count. Thank you.